Rat. Rat. Well, good morning. I got an arrow in a doe. I thought the shot looked good, but it sounded a little back. She spun around about 40 yards and stopped, and I almost got another shot. She walked off. I mean, we'll find her. I just didn't put the shot in her that I needed to. Felt good to release an arrow, another one. Beautiful morning up here in western New York. The sun's peeking out above the tree line. Fall. Leaves are falling. Changing colors. This is the second morning on of the season for moi. And it's a good one. We got frost. It was 28 degrees. Got down to 28 degrees overnight. It was in the 70s 2 days ago. Almost a 50-degree swing in a couple days. Should have the bucks getting a little frisky. The cameras have been lighting up with buck activity, especially on the scrapes. It sure seems like they're starting to cruise. They're starting to feel their oats a little bit, and the older bucks for sure are. Even if it's at night, they're trying to figure out what, when, and where the first doe is going to come into estrus. It's Saturday. You know what that means. Saturday is Ferda. We're starting off the morning in this redneck blind. We've had this thing set up for a couple of years now, and we've kind of architected this spot, although it's not like a crazy food plot. It's just clover. That's all it is. But we did some hinge cutting up on the hill. We did some hinge cutting down in the bottom. And we're trying to suck them in. This is the landing strip. We want them to land right here. But the Godfather scrape is at 32 yards out here, and Swoops has touched it. There's a couple shooters that have touched that scrape in the past week. It's frosty right now still. The sun is just giving a little peek over the horizon, and as soon as it does, as soon as this frost clears, I think got hung up on the cobweb. As soon as this frost melts, these deer are going to get up and start moving. It's going to be a later morning move. Just my prediction and opinion, because what happens is that frost melts. It creates that condensation on the ground. Number one, the deer feel more comfortable because they can sneak around. Number two, they can smell everything. So it's actually perfect timing for them to get up, check a scrape maybe that they haven't checked in a couple days or whatever, to get their bearings and everything. So I'm really excited about where we're at right now. Really excited about where we're at. Well, 11 o'clock. Time to
jump out, grab some lunch, but we're going to do a little recovery mission, hopefully. I'm going to creep about 50 yards up the hill, and I can glass to where I think where I last saw her. I'm hoping I can either see her down or get an idea of what's happening. But very certain that it was a liver shot, especially the way she acted. She gave a good mule kick, and hopefully this turns into a relatively quick recovery.
Up to Brother Jeffrey, see if we can help him recover his dough. It's been about 3 hours. He hit her a little bit back, but it looks like a good shot. I don't think she'll be far.
Should have been easier than what it is, but that's gonna be a dead deer.
I thought you did the deer spot on.
It was a little back. I could hear it. It was not a lung shot. She spun around and went 30 yards, and I thought she was gonna go down because I did not see my shot. I mean, I felt good about it, but it did not sound solid. But she kicked,
Yeah,
and then ran 30 yards, and she stood there hunched over. She's gonna go down. Well, and then I grabbed the binoculars, and I could tell she was hunched over. I'm like, maybe it was back. So, and she started walking. She stopped right in my 35-yard lane. At that point, I'm like, trying not to let her see me, even though she's jacked up, and then knock another arrow. And at that point, she started walking off. Got up. There's a fallen tree up there that I got marked, or at least visually, and stood there for a long time.
you get right past there.
I should be somewhere within 30, 40 yards. Let's go get her.
There she is. There she is.
Well, I drew blood. Feels good for what seemed like it was a little bit not ideal of a shot. She really only went probably 80 yards, not even 70 yards. We only went 30 yards. I got my workout for the week.
Walking out, I was actually taking a couple videos for the gram, if I'm going to be honest. Just got the text from Pops that they found her. Uncle Jay dove down. You can hear him. You hear the four-wheeler flare up. They must be going out to get her. They're going in to get her. One down today. That's good stuff. Meat for the freezer. Cutlets. Let's try a little bit. That was such a setup scene because I have to ride out with him. I guess I could probably put my buffet in the bag. There's one in the back of the unit.
I did it. I knew I could do it. I knew I could. It only took 6 times, but I did it. He walked another 25 yards and stopped and was there for a while. I kept squatting down. I could see her, and then I went to do something and she was gone. And I'm like, maybe she just went down. We went through the 20 yards of greenery and there she was, stiff.
Now do it.
You did your part in dome management. Now you can shoot a bog.
That's right.
I just got into the blank here. We're sitting on standing beans, standing corn, which is kind of early for when you would think we would be sitting on this food source. But we got turnips mixed into all of it, and the deer have not gotten off this field. Everything's browned up, but there's still deer pounding it. We have so many deer here in New York that what we've experienced in the last couple of years is that they never leave the soybeans. I mean, if there's soybeans standing, they're eating them. Brown, yellow, green, it doesn't matter. A couple bucks we're after in particular. Buck we call Swoops. My dad saw him last night in a spot where we never thought you would see him. So he's cruising around, and then a buck we call Clark. David had an encounter with him last year, passed him up. He doesn't have a big rack. He's an age buck, not a scoring buck. But I would love to put my tag on him. We had a couple nice bucks working in here in daylight this morning. It was really cold, 32 degrees. It was a frost, and it's warmed up a ton since then. It's got to be close to 60 degrees now, maybe 58. So it warmed up quite a bit, but as soon as the sun starts to drop here in the next hour, it should cool down. Hopefully we get deer on this field moving. Hopefully get something in bow range.
out here. Swoops was working his way right up to me. He was going to feed right out in front of me. He was taking a while, but he was going to do it. It is so quiet out. I don't even know where it was from, but a four-wheeler sounded like it was far away, but maybe way out in the green field out to my right, but it had to be far. And he heard that four-wheeler and scooted towards the woods and totally got off his track of where he was going. He was going to feed right up to the middle of the beans right out in front of me. Oh man, it was an awesome night. Dead still. Almost too still. I can barely talk right now. There's deer close to me. These bugs are right down in this bottom. It's so loud and crunchy. Man, I can't believe that a distant four-wheeler just buggered him up a little bit. He heard that thing, he looked right back in its direction, and then he just slowly scurried to the woods, and now he's just hanging out in there. Crazy. It's October 17th, so the chase for Swoops continues.